Y en los próximos minutos, bueno, hasta aquí las claves de la tarde, vamos a hablarles de Tesla, esa compañía que ha subido tanto en el último año, un 136% hasta el cierre de ayer. Y vamos a indagar un poquito más en qué es lo que ocurre con esta compañía. Tenemos con nosotros a Philippe Houchois, que es Senior Equity Research Analyst en Jefferies. Philippe, thank you so much for being in Negocios Televisión. Good afternoon and sorry for the delay.
No problem. Good afternoon.
We're going to speak today about Tesla. Philippe, it's up 136% year to date, the stock of Tesla. What has changed in Tesla for everyone to buy the stock now? Is it Elon Musk that's hiring a new CEO for Twitter, so people now believe that he will work more intensively on Tesla again?
Yeah, I think what the appointment of a new CEO for Twitter has reassured investors to some extent, because what happened last year was a combination of different factors, one of which is that Mr. Musk clearly was distracted by having too many things to deal with. So there were some decisions to make on the business of Tesla at the time, which weren't done as efficiently or as quickly as they might have been. So I think it's been quite reassuring to get him back with a more full-time attention to the needs of Tesla and adjusting to what is becoming a bit more of a difficult market for Tesla and for the industry.
Tesla is always known, Philip, for its volatility. How long can this rally last? Do you think we can still see more upside movement for Tesla?
No, it's been an issue, the volatility. I think it's because it is both a traditional stock, but it's also apparently a stock which has been getting a lot of attention from retail investors. So I think that's been probably contributed to the volatility. Also, I mean, it's a business which it's been a very successful business, and you can value the growth, the cash flows, but also it's a business where people spend a lot of time valuing the potential and the future. And then there's been kind of periods of more or less optimism about the ability to develop self-driving cars. There'd be more or less optimism about the timing of new products, the timing of ramping up batteries. So it's always a stock that is probably more subject to speculation or to some imagination about what the future holds. And I think that has been adding to the volatility in addition to what normally would move any other stock.
Can we say, Philip, that Tesla is the best company on the electric vehicle sector? Philip, can you hear me?
Yep. I can barely hear you.
Okay, I will repeat the question. I said, if I asked you if Tesla is the best company in the electric vehicle sector, because that's what we can see the market seems to believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I think Tesla stands out still very much because it's of course Tesla is about electric cars, but it's also about different ways of manufacturing cars. It's about software. It's about also an attempt to scale cars in a bigger way, basically try to sell as many cars as possible with a relatively narrow product range, and that's part of the success of it. And so I think there are multiple areas in which Tesla has an edge. That edge is more or less advanced of a few years or closing. It is clearly becoming a more challenging or more competitive market, largely because it's not a question of just car makers wanting to compete against Tesla. Most car makers have to eventually move into electric cars because that is the direction for the industry. And so as a result, it's not just Tesla and a few other car makers, it's Tesla and all the car makers eventually going into electric cars. And that creates a more challenging environment. But we think on the number of fronts, the design, the software, the manufacturing efficiency, and Tesla makes a difference. Probably maybe a bit less on the battery and the powertrain, because that's effectively where other car makers are coming in to compete. So that edge is on varying degrees depending on which aspect of the company you're looking at. Plus the fact that Tesla also creating opportunities in terms of storage, stationary storage of energy, which is critical to develop renewable energy, and also the discussion around autonomous cars, whether we don't even know if it's possible at some point, but certainly a number of companies are researching those areas, and Tesla's approach to autonomy is still very, very different from the others. So from that standpoint, there's a lot of multiple edges with different values, but I think Tesla very much remains in the lead of the industry.
Is it still time to invest in Tesla, Philip?
It's interesting because I think what we saw certainly in 2022 is scenarios of what happens when the growth slows down. And I think what investors need to get some reassurance in that we can go back to a track of growth and probably improving margins. And I think at this stage there's still some uncertainty on the path to improving margins. What will make the story again give a lot of upside is when we start to have a bit more of a view, of a sense of what new businesses beyond autos might be available to Tesla. And that, from that standpoint, there's definitely upside. But the timing of when those ideas or business lines become viable is still very much unclear.
Philippe Houchois, Senior Equity Research Analyst at Jefferies. Thank you so much for being in Negocios Televisión. It's been a pleasure, and sorry for the delay in the interview.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bueno, Tesla, por cierto, que hablábamos con Philippe sobre ella, nos hablaban de cómo está la compañía, de cuáles pueden haber sido los motivos por los que ahora pues, ha subido tanto en este año 2023, 136%, aunque un poquito más, porque hoy está subiendo un 2,7% en la jornada de hoy. Hacemos una pausa publicitaria y volvemos enseguida con muchas más cuestiones que contarles.